guys, Hyeperion here, back with another video. Bear with me as I will be using a really bad mic, but I'll be talking about some potentially huge changes coming up on Run with Mad God. Jumping onto testing, we can see that there's a new class, the Bard. Its default skin looks awesome, better than a lot of the skins in the game to be honest. Now this is on testing by the way, so things aren't final, but I can say this is a pretty polished class for an out of nowhere testing session. Let's check out what new things this class brings. So it's a bow class, with a lute as ability, and a robe. That's pretty interesting. I just can't get rid of the image in my head, which is a priest with a doom bow. Anyways, let's check its base stats to get it out of the way. So it has 670 HP and 385 MP. Interesting. So it has the stats of a robe class, which should be somewhat obvious, but you know, it has only 55 attack, but it has 70 dexterity, 75 wisdom, 45 vitality, and 55 speed. So comparing to the usual bow class, this one hits less harder, but shoots much more faster, and it moves slightly faster itself. It's a bit more fragile too, using a robe instead of leather. Let's see what its ability is. It's the lute, a magical lute that inspires allies. The tier 01 inspires enemies. That's a new buff. Inspiring increases the range by the multiplier stated, so with a 7 range doom bow you will get 7.7 range while inspired with a tier 0. Interesting. Oh, by the way, this is what it looks like when you're using the ability. Very aesthetic. I like the style. Do note that it doesn't deal damage. When you get to the tier 2 loot, you get a boost in attack and you give everyone the energized buff. For those who don't know what it is, it gives a big increase in mana regeneration. So it's the first class to buff everyone's mana regen, which can be super strong in groups. As you go up the tiers, you get more attack and longer durations, and when you get to tier 6 you get 20 HP and 20 MP, which is really cool. I'll be talking about tier 6 item changes soon too. By tier 6 you get a 1.5 times increase in range. So with a doom bow it will look like this. Much more range, 10.5 range to be a bit more precise. I can see some cheeky things being done with this, such as what I'm doing right now, going outside during the dance phase. Damage wise, the Bard is slightly weaker than other bow classes. Still, it's not bad and it has more range, technically. I won't go too deep into this, but judging from the tiered items and stats and having a robe, this class is fragile, but has great range to stay back and can be really good for the group with the energized buff and range increase. My only ouchies with this class currently is that by yourself all you're doing is increasing your range, which isn't that essential in the bow class, making you pretty much a mundane bow class. And remember, you deal less damage. Excellent in groups and a little in solo. Maybe add some sort of damage output or something worth the excessive mana you get while using abilities. On to the other bit of cool news, a big change to the tiered items. The scope of this is to add more relevance and value to tiered items. First up, by making all wine cellar tops drop only from O2 and Shatters, so none from the Wood Lab or Dedox. With the upcoming Oryx 3, they are adding even higher tiers. Tier 7 abilities, tier 14 weapons and tier 15 armors. I won't go too deep into that as some of them are quite unbalanced, such as the tier 15 leather giving 21 defense and 7 dexterity, whereas Armor of Neil currently gives 21 defense and -2 speed, which is quite unfair. Now the last bit of info is for buffing mainly the tier 6 abilities, which are mainly known to give just 2 vitality and 2 wisdom. Across the board they will get more stat bonuses and power compared to the tier 5 counterparts. That's about all the news I have from testing. I'm looking forward to the release of the Bard class, very interesting class. Just wish it had a little bit more spice to it and give it more reason to utilize its strong mana capabilities. Or we may end up with another overbalanced class no one plays. For real though, Samurai is alright, but this class currently on its own is a bit Thanks for watching guys, and I'm pretty late to this, but thanks a lot for 6,000 subscribers, well now 6,400. It's amazing. Hopefully we make it to 10k by the end of the year. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it as it helps a lot, and also